Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because what you're about to hear could completely change the way you look at coins you've had in your pocket for decades. Stay with me until the very end, because the final value of this coin is something most people would never expect. Now, I want you to picture something simple, something small, something most people barely give a second thought to. A coin that's easy to overlook, something you might have handed to a cashier or forgotten in a drawer long ago. But what if I told you that this humble little piece of metal, a 5 centimes coin from 1989, also known as Rappen in Switzerland, holds a story that's powerful, meaningful, and potentially very valuable? For many men between 55 and 65 years old, coins are not just currency. They are reminders of a lifetime of work, family, history, and the way the world has changed. You remember cash in your pocket, coins jingling as you paid for gas or groceries. You remember the days before digital wallets. And that connection to physical money is exactly what gives coins like the 1989 5 centimes their charm, and in some cases their surprising worth. Let's start with the history. The 5 centimes coin is one of the smallest denominations in Swiss currency. Switzerland, a country known for precision, quality, and discipline, reflects those values in every coin it produces. A coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a piece of national identity. The design is clean, balanced, and built with the same ethos that has made Swiss watches famous around the world. This coin, minted in 1989, comes from a period when the Swiss economy was mature, stable, and deeply respected internationally. Now think about what the world looked like in 1989. You were in your prime years. You saw economic shifts, technological advances, historic events. You lived through a moment when global change was everywhere you looked. That's the same moment this coin was created. It was made to circulate, to be used, to exchange hands thousands of times. But through decades of use, a small number of these coins remained untouched, kept by someone who didn't realize what they had, or saved simply because it connected to a time that mattered. What makes a coin valuable isn't just age. Plenty of old coins are worth exactly face value. No, the real value comes from rarity, condition, and story. And this is where the 1989 5 centimes begins to separate itself from the ordinary. First is minting volume. In most years, millions of these coins were struck and released into circulation. But within that large number, there are tiny variations, things the mint never intended and almost always overlooked. Slight differences in weight, metal mix, die alignment, and edge finishing can create what collectors call varieties and errors. These are not defects in the negative sense. In the world of coin collecting, they are treasures. For example, a coin might be struck with a weak impression on one side or show a doubled image in the lettering. These subtle quirks might seem insignificant to an everyday eye, but to seasoned collectors, they are like discovering a rare stamp misprint or a first edition print run. They tell a story of a moment in the mint's process that differed from the norm, and those moments are highly prized. Collectors also look at what they call condition. A coin that has sat untouched for years, uncirculated, with pristine details, sharp edges, and no wear, is a completely different animal from one that has been rubbed and worn smooth by decades of use. And the truth is, most of the surviving 1989 5 centimes coins have some wear. But every once in a while, one emerges that looks nearly as crisp as the day it was minted. Those coins are extremely rare and incredibly interesting. Now imagine a coin that is both rare minting variation and exceptional condition. That combination sends experienced collectors' hearts racing. It's the kind of find that turns a casual hobbyist into a serious investor. Because those coins are not just objects. They are history, timeless craftsmanship, and proof of something extraordinary happening in an ordinary year. And that matters greatly for men in your age group. You understand quality. You recognize when something is solid, well-made, and built to last. You can spot differences that others miss. You live the meaning of durability and endurance every day. That's why the story of this coin resonates. You're not just being told a fact, you are connecting your experience to something older and deeper. But let's talk about why collectors around the world are paying attention to coins like the 1989 Five Centimes. The collecting world has expanded beyond simple local interest. There are serious collectors in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and North America who understand that coins from historically stable economies often outperform expectations. Switzerland's careful monetary policies and long-standing tradition of precision minting means its coins often attract quality-focused collectors who appreciate well-made, well-preserved specimens. Another factor that adds value to a coin is documentation. Coins that have been professionally graded by a credible coin grading service, meaning experts have examined them and assigned a condition rating, tend to sell for significantly higher prices. But you don't need professional grading to recognize that a coin is exceptional. Sharp details, no scratches, and a deep, original luster are visible traits. And when you see them, you know something special is in your hand. For many collectors aged 55 to 65, there's also a nostalgia factor at play. A coin from 1989 takes you back. It reminds you of holidays, family trips, times when you travel with cash in your pocket and no phone in your hand. Nostalgia drives collectors beyond mere economics. It makes us feel the value of an object, not just see it. And that feeling is powerful. It makes collecting a blend of intellectual curiosity, emotional connection, and investment potential. It's why men in your age group stick with collecting longer, study the details harder, and recognize patterns others overlook. So what does all this mean in practical terms? When a coin like the 1989 Five Centimes is found in extraordinary condition, perhaps with unique minting characteristics and uncirculated luster, it becomes something much more than its modest face value. It becomes a rare piece of monetary history. Experienced collectors and auction houses around the world pay special attention to these rare finds. They compare them, catalog them, and sometimes compete fiercely to add them to their most selective collections. What seems small to the casual observer becomes monumental to the collector with an eye for detail and an appreciation for quality. And here's where the real power of this story kicks in. Because for some exceptionally rare examples of this coin, those with unique minting characteristics coupled with near-perfect preservation, collectors have been willing to pay astonishing sums. Sums that most people would never associate with a 5-cent coin from 1989. Now stay with me, because this is the part most people wait for. When all of the right elements, rarity, condition, history, and demand come together, this humble 1989 5 centimes coin has achieved a remarkable valuation among serious collectors. A coin in this elite category can reach prices as high as $1 million. So before you toss that old coin jar aside, take a closer look. Your next nostalgic moment could be the discovery of a lifetime. And that's why coins like the 1989 5 centimes aren't just metal. They're stories, connections, and in rare cases, they're life-changing treasures waiting to be found.